everyone. Welcome back to the Stayzen with Saj podcast. It is I, your host, Sajeedahdahliah, and today, from the title, you already know what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about loneliness. Not loneliness, but being alone, and it is okay to want to be alone sometimes. Before I begin, I want to talk about something really important. When I first started the podcast, I would talk about gratitude before I talk about the topics. At the beginning of every episode, I would emphasize on gratitude, and then I eventually stopped. But then I try my best to do so in every episode. I try to sneak it in once or twice whenever I'm talking to anything that relates to being grateful for something. And then I said I was going to emphasize on charity and giving back to the less privileged. And I did not do that, even though I said I was going to do that. I didn't do that as much. So today, basically, what I want to say is we are all on social media. We can all see what is happening around the world, what is happening in Gaza, the Republic of Congo, and Sudan. And I know a lot of you want to help out, but then you feel so helpless. Well, there is a way you can help out. You can help out by creating awareness. You can help out by reposting, by engaging with the content that's talking about it. And by doing so, more people will get to see it, and people that will be able to donate and help out will be able to see it. And it doesn't really matter if it's only one video you're able to repost, or you can only engage with one video. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're doing something, that is what matters. Now, let us get on with the episode. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be alone sometimes. As someone who went to a boarding school at a very young age, personal space is not something that's really established because everyone is always in your business. You always have to follow the timetable and you always have to be around people. The only time you have for yourself is maybe when it's nap time, or you're getting ready for school, or you're getting ready for bed, or you're sleeping. The other times are when you're mingling with everyone else and the staff and the students. And it reached a point for me when it became really exhausting being around a lot of people, and I just couldn't explain it. It was like the more I was around people, the more I became sadder. I just wanted to be in my shell. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to just sit down and be in control, basically. Because when you're in boarding school, you're not in control because you have to follow the timetable. You have to do everything everyone else is doing. And I would cry some days because I couldn't really explain the feeling. And I would literally lock myself in my locker whenever I get back from school. Each person had a locker and it was really big. It could literally fit a human being. And I would lock myself in my locker and I would cry because I was so drained and I just couldn't explain the feeling that I was feeling. And all this while, I did not realize I was socially drained. I just needed time to breathe. I needed to relax. I needed to not talk to anyone. And people just felt like I was being dramatic. But then I wasn't. My feeling was very valid. It's just that I couldn't explain it. To the extent that I was crying someday and my sisters came to school to talk to me, and then like the staff were making it seem like, oh, I just wanted my family members to bring candy and all this stuff for me. But then it wasn't like that. And if I genuinely wanted candy, I would have just called my mom because it's something she always brings for me, even without me having to ask. So they were making a whole thing out of it. And it's like, oh my gosh, like at some point I just had to suck it in. I'm like, what's the point of trying to explain something like this to people that are just going to be ignorant about the situation? And thinking back now, all I can say is my feelings were valid. It's just I didn't really understand what I was feeling, and I didn't know how to cope with it, and I didn't know how to get myself through it. And me wanting to be alone had nothing to do with the people around me. It was more of a me thing. I just needed my own space and I needed to feel in control. But then what people usually do is they always tend to make it about themselves. They start to overthink that, oh, maybe I did something to this person, or maybe they don't like me anymore, or maybe this, maybe that. But then in all honesty, it has nothing to do with them, but it's more of a you thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an introvert and I'm not an extrovert. I would like to say I'm in between because I love having face-to-face conversations with people. Those give me so much energy. I love talking to people face-to-face. I love interactions. They just make me so happy. But then at the same time, I can get irritated quickly and I would just not want to talk to anyone at all. Some days I would just be too drained to even want to talk to anyone. It's not like I'm sad. It just feels right to not talk some days. Like there are some days I can just go about my whole day not wanting to speak to anyone. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. It just felt right for me. And if I try to hold a conversation with someone, I just feel drained, and that's when I start feeling sad. And the more time I've spent alone, the more my life has become significantly better, and I'm going to tell you why. Solitude has helped me with self-discovery. In my time of solitude, I've been able to self-reflect, dive into my own thoughts, understand my own values, the values that I believe in, and really get to know myself on a deeper level. My wants, my needs, what is important to me and what is not important to me. And this is something that I was not able to do when I did not prioritize my solitude enough. When you're constantly around people, you don't have time to think because your decisions are being determined by the decisions of the people around you. Let's say you and your friends are together and everyone says, "Oh, I want pepperoni pizza." And you say, "Yes, I want pepperoni pizza as well," because everyone else is getting pepperoni pizza. You've actually not sat down to think, "Oh, maybe I want chicken something." I don't know really know other pizza flavors. But then maybe you actually want barbecue chicken, but you don't even know you want barbecue chicken because you're always around people and they're always saying they want pepperoni, and yes, you want pepperoni. You actually sit down and think about it. Most of the things you like, you don't actually like them, and you don't know that you don't actually like them. You only like them because the people you're always with like them. So you think you also like them. Because if your friends that you're always with like it, then you also like it too. Solitude has also helped me to understand my feelings better. As I said in the previous episode, I do not get angry anymore by choice because getting angry is only hurting me and not hurting the person that I'm angry at. And I was only able to get to that conclusion because I practiced solitude, being in my own space. I was able to sit down and actually think, what am I getting out of being angry with this person? And I realized I wasn't getting anything out of it, but I was the one with the heavy heart. I was the one constantly thinking about what this person did to me. And I was the one constantly thinking about ways I could get revenge on this person. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but let's say you're in a group setting and one of your friends makes a joke and you don't find the joke funny because it's at your expense, and then you get angry, and then you get angrier because you're still in close proximity to that person. But then if you realize something, the moment you leave that room, you're no longer sitting close to the person or in the same environment as them, or you're doing something entirely different. The anger reduces, and that is what space does. But then also you have to use your solitude wisely. Your solitude can be good and bad at the same time. Let's say someone pisses you off. You could use your solitude to foster a grudge against that person or use it to get over what the person did. I've met so many people that when they're fighting with someone, they would literally take a step back and give themselves space from that person because they know if they don't give themselves that space and time apart from that person, they're going to say things that they're probably going to regret. Solitude provides an opportunity for emotional processing and healing. There's something it allows us to do, and numerous people are scared of it, and that is confronting our feelings. If you're the type of person that is so dismissive that you love to dismiss your feelings, well, solitude allows you to confront them, and you know it. That's why whenever you're going through something and you don't want to think about it, you tend to hang out around people because you don't want to think about it, or you occupy your time with Netflix, social media, YouTube, just so you don't have to think about it. Solitude has helped me with my personal growth. Spending time alone has helped me improve myself in numerous ways. I've been able to pursue new interests, develop new skills, and it's like I've been given more time to work towards my goals without any distractions. I'm the type of person that whenever I'm around people, I don't even think about anything else aside from what is happening at that moment, the present. I just love to enjoy the present, dwell in the moment. So whenever I'm away from people, whenever I'm in my own space and I'm alone, I have time to think, I have a clear head and everything else, it's easier for me to work and it's easier for me to do so many things. I'm the type of person that I find it really hard to study when there's another person in the room. Like if I'm trying to learn something new and I'm studying it, I can't do it when there are other people around me. It's just not me. I find it really uncomfortable. And being alone has helped me realize that And now that's what I do. Whenever I'm studying, I make sure there's no one close to me. If I'm studying on a particular day and my nephew and my nieces are coming to the house, I'll make sure I study before they arrive, because once they arrive, they're going to be all up in my business in my room, and I can't send them out because they're going to be coming in and out anyhow, and I can't control that. Being alone has helped me be more independent. And what I mean by independent is I've been able to trust my own judgment more. I'm able to make more decisions for myself, and I genuinely enjoy my own company without constantly seeking validation from others. I don't depend on other people to make me happy because I'm very comfortable with spending time by myself. And a lot of people have this problem that they can't do things on their own. Whenever I tell people that I go to the cinema alone sometimes, people are always shocked, like, oh, how can you do that? That's not an activity that you do by yourself. Well, I do it by myself and I pretty much enjoy it. The cinema is like my comfort place. So doing that alone makes me so happy, because imagine me always wanting to do something that I love with someone else. It will eventually reach a point whereby I can't even enjoy something that I love without doing it with someone else. And of course, I have friends and I go out with my friends a lot. But then sometimes I just want to spend time with myself doing the things that I like. And I mentioned in another episode that you should stop depending on other people to make you happy. Because the more you depend on other people to make you happy, the more you're giving them the power to take that happiness away from you. And this is something that solitude has taught me. I have learned to be more comfortable with spending time on my own, and that has made me self-resilient. And some of you think that when you're always around people, when you're always around your friends, it makes your relationship stronger. But then it's actually the opposite. Of course, yes, it's good to spend so much time with your friends, you enjoy it. But then at the same time, spending time alone is very crucial for your relationships with people. Going back to what I said earlier, when I said being around people can affect your decision making, because you're used to being around so many people that whatever decision they make, you just go with it. And you never really know if it's actually what you would agree with or what you wouldn't agree with. That's why solitude in relationships, it provides the people in the relationships with space that helps them maintain a healthy sense of individuality. And this enhances the quality of the interactions you have with your friends and with the other relationships you have with people, because you know what you want and the other person in the relationship knows what they want. So you're not always agreeing, you're not always going with the flow, agreeing with what the other person wants, because you know what you want and you're going to say what you want. Before I end this episode, I just want to say human connection is vital, but at the same time, the ability to be comfortable and content in your own company is also vital. Some people have the wrong idea about solitude. You think it's isolation or loneliness, but rather it's about embracing the richness of being alone and the numerous opportunities that solitude presents to you. If you've never embraced your solitude, start today. Start today and thank me later. Thank you so much for listening to this episode up until this point. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a review. If you have any questions, be sure to send me a DM on the thestayzenwithsaj Instagram account or email me. My email is sajeedahdahliah@outlook.com. I'm going to leave those two down below. And also, don't be that person that is always in people's spaces. Don't be that person that doesn't like giving people their space. And don't be that person that criticizes people for wanting space and making it all about yourself, okay? You are better than that. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.